close to my house. I need people to run upstairs and give me shit.
You make me feel so special.
Because you are, my love.
I love you.
I'm almost ready to have a heart attack. I'm like, what?
You look absolutely radiant tonight.
Thank you, darling. You always know how to make me smile.
I'm so glad we're here together.
Me too. It's a blessing.
Up on me in Oakland, and every time he does that,
The internet loves a plot twist, but nobody saw this one coming. Just when people were still trying to process the fact that Albie, sure, and Luenell were actually a real couple, now the streets are whispering something even bigger. Wedding bells may already be on the horizon. Yes, you heard that right. Word around Hollywood is that the Al train is not just moving, it may be headed straight toward forever. We're talking matching robes, private vacations, late-night love songs, and possibly a full I do moment. And honestly, nobody had this on their 2026 bingo card. Because let's be real, when news first broke that Albie Sure and Luenell were together, half the internet thought it had to be AI. People were zooming in on photos, checking shadows, studying body language like FBI agents. Folks were convinced it was either Photoshop, some strange publicity rollout, or maybe a hidden project they were working on together. Nobody believed it. But then they posted the video. And suddenly all the conspiracy theories had to pack up and leave. There they were, comfortable, smiling, glowing, and looking very much like two people who were not pretending for the cameras. Then came the photos. Then came the captions. Then came the confirmation. Luenell dropped a carousel of them looking deeply in love with the simple but powerful caption, "Yep, it's love." That was it. The internet exploded. And honestly, it made sense. Because for years, these two were never the pairing people imagined. Albie Sure has always carried that legendary R&B heartthrob energy. Light-skinned general, smooth voice, sharp suits, quiet confidence. The kind of man people expected to be linked to runway models and industry glam girls. Then there's Luenell, loud, fearless, hilarious, unfiltered, and proudly herself. She has never been interested in fitting into Hollywood's tiny little beauty box. She kicks the box over and laughs while doing it. So when these two showed up together as a couple, people didn't know how to process it. Some fans were absolutely living for it. To them it felt refreshing. Two grown people. Two survivors. Two icons. No games. No pretending. Just mature black love, built on friendship, trust, and real-life experience. It wasn't flashy, it felt authentic. And in a world full of performative relationships, authenticity is rare. But of course, not everyone reacted with love. Because the trolls? Oh, they clocked in immediately. First, it was the age gap. People started clutching their pearls because Al, a youthful and charismatic 57, is dating Luenell, who is 67. Suddenly, folks were acting like this was some shocking scandal that needed a full documentary investigation. Which is funny, because if a 57-year-old man dates a 47-year-old woman, nobody even blinks. But let the woman be older? Now suddenly society needs prayer circles. And that told everybody exactly what the real issue was. Because it was never really about age. It was about appearance. People weren't just criticizing the age difference. They were attacking Luenell herself. Body shaming. Calling her ugly. Saying Al was too handsome for her. Saying he had somehow downgraded. As if love is supposed to be measured by how closely someone resembles an Instagram filter. It got nasty. People were acting like Al had won some kind of genetic lottery and therefore owed the world a supermodel on his arm. As if a curvy, dark-skinned, confident woman with her own career, her own legacy, and her own power somehow wasn't enough. That wasn't criticism. That was projection. And honestly, it said way more about them than it did about this relationship. Because what those people were missing is simple. Chemistry doesn't care about your beauty standards. Connection doesn't care about your comment section. And love definitely doesn't ask the internet for permission. What makes this story even deeper is the fact that this didn't come out of nowhere. Luenell later explained that what people were seeing publicly was actually years in the making. This wasn't some random celebrity hookup. This wasn't a sudden fling. They had history. Real history. They had been in each other's circles for decades. Long before the Instagram captions. Long before the speculation. Long before the fans. She revealed that Al had been quietly showing up for her in ways that mattered. Vegas, Texas, Clinton. Everywhere she was, somehow he would appear. Not for attention. Not for headlines. Just there. Present. Consistent. Intentional. She even laughed while talking about how stunned she would be every time he showed up. She said when he popped up at the Paramount, she was so shocked she could barely even stand up to hug him. That kind of reaction tells you everything. Because surprise visits hit different when they come from someone who genuinely cares. And that's when people started realizing, oh, this might actually be serious. Still, some skeptics refused to let it go. They kept insisting it had to be a PR stunt. Maybe they were filming something. Maybe they were promoting a project. Maybe it was all strategy. And to be fair, some of that suspicion came from Luenell's own long-running jokes about her love life. She has never hidden the fact that she enjoys younger men. Actually, she talks about it proudly. She's joked many times that younger men are her guilty pleasure. Men in their 20s. Men with energy. Men who can run upstairs without needing a prayer break. Classic Luenell. She once joked that younger men are practical because she has multiple levels in her house and needs somebody healthy enough to move around fast. She said they're fun, energetic, and bring excitement into life. And honestly, men have been doing that forever. But when women do it, suddenly everybody becomes a relationship expert. Still, because she's been so open and funny about that cougar energy, some people assumed this was just another joke. Another celebrity crush. Another fine man added to the collection. But it wasn't, because Al kept showing up. The photos kept coming. The chemistry stayed obvious. And slowly, people had to accept that this wasn't comedy. This was commitment. And if reports are true, it may be heading toward marriage. That part shocked people the most. Marriage? Not dating. Not we're seeing where it goes. Marriage. That changes everything. Especially for a man like Al B, sure, whose life has been anything but easy. After years in the spotlight, major personal battles, and serious health scares that forced him to confront life in a very real way, priorities change. Fame starts feeling smaller. Appearances matter less. Peace becomes priceless. And that's where people say Luenell became different. Because she isn't polished for the cameras. She's not trying to be perfect. She's not performing femininity for public approval. She's loud. She's honest. She's hilarious. She's emotionally present. And after surviving real storms, sometimes that matters more than beauty ever could. Sometimes a soulmate looks nothing like your fantasy and everything like your peace. That's what people close to them reportedly understand. This isn't about image. It's about trust. When you've known someone for years, when they know your secrets, your failures, your health scares, your ugly moments, you skip the fake stage of dating. There's no audition. No pretending. No best behavior. Just truth. That foundation is hard to fake. And maybe that's exactly why this works. Because Al isn't choosing based on fantasy. He's choosing based on reality. And reality says Luenell has been there. While the internet was judging waistlines and comparing aesthetics, he was looking at loyalty. While trolls were ranking faces, he was recognizing emotional safety. That's a different kind of love. And honestly, it lasts longer. Of course, there was a brief moment when fans thought everything had already fallen apart. A few days ago, Luenell started posting cryptic messages online. Things like, "You can walk away and still be the prize. I'm not hard to love. I'm just not easy to play with. Protect your peace like it pays your bills, because it does." Immediately, social media detectives activated. People assumed breakup, secret drama, trouble in paradise. But according to insiders, those posts had nothing to do with Al. Apparently, she was just speaking to the girls, dropping wisdom, giving grown woman advice, not subtweeting her man. And if the whispers are true, the relationship is actually stronger than ever. Which brings us right back to the biggest rumor of all. Marriage. Is the ring coming? Is Hollywood about to witness a Mrs. Al B. Sure era? Is Luenell about to turn this soft launch into a full wife rollout? Honestly, maybe. And maybe that's why people are so obsessed. Because this relationship challenges everything people think love is supposed to look like. It's not young. It's not filtered. It's not built for Instagram aesthetics. It's grown, messy, real, unexpected. And maybe that's why it feels believable. Love at this stage of life isn't about butterflies. It's about peace. It's about safety. It's about finding someone who feels like home after the world has exhausted you. And if that's what they found in each other, then honestly, good for them. Let the trolls stay mad. Let the comment section scream. Let people keep trying to force their shallow standards onto grown people who clearly do not care. Because while everyone else is debating appearances, these two might be planning forever. And that's the real headline. So now the question is yours. Are they moving too fast? Or are they simply old enough to know exactly what they want? Because if wedding bells do start ringing, one thing is certain. The internet will absolutely lose its mind.